Welcome to a special edition of the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me, as always, is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
This one is very special. We have a very special guest. It's very exciting.
You too could be a special guest by becoming a $100 patron over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, but that time has passed because now we're welcoming the man known to many as Ink Pants. Welcome to the show, Dobbs.
Very special is a very strong word to describe me, but thank you very much. Happy to be here.
This is a very special episode of the BumbleKast. We're going to talk about why you shouldn't do drugs and all that. That's what you do in a very special episode, right?
Not this one, please don't.
Oh, okay, fine.
It was in my notes, but I can rule that one out.
Okay.
We can refund you. We appreciate it, but maybe come back later. No, seriously, welcome to the show. And, kind of a casual just sit around and chat type of thing. This is kind of more or less one giant exclusive extended Q&A session, I guess, that you've bought your way into. But I remember you saying that you wanted to kind of talk about what it is about Sonic that means. What does it mean to us personally? What is it about the little blue hedgehog that has influenced us creatively and personally? And why in the world are three grown men talking about it still to this day, sort of thing?
30 years later.
Yeah.
And since you are the special guest here, oh so special, very, very special, so dear to us, please take the floor, lead us off. Tell us about why Sonic is your thing. Why has he brought us all together?
I think for me, it's always been about community and creativity. So I got into Sonic right from the beginning, so 30 years ago, which, first up, that's absolutely bonkers, 30 years of this little blue guy. And I know that, Sonic as a franchise isn't unique in this respect, but he is incredibly lucky to be in the position that he's in today. To have such a passionate, dedicated fan base that's, stuck by him all these years, myself included, and all of us. Well, I guess, there's probably a lot of people out there that have come into it relatively new, but there are some of us that have been there right from the beginning, and we're still doing it. And frankly, he's present across so many different mediums that, we're lucky too, because we get to experience all of this across comics, movies, video games, all this kind of stuff. And that thrills me. There's not a lot of franchises out there that are as robust and as, frankly, malleable as Sonic is. And I guess for me, while the games were originally what got me into Sonic, Sonic 1, Sonic 2 and all that, and then, the cartoons kind of sparked up that a little bit. And then the Archie comics were what really kind of fueled me. I didn't do any kind of art prior to picking up my first issue of Archie. And I remember seeing the art by Manny Gallen, Art Mawini, and especially Spaz. And that just kicked off something inside me, like this fire, like this creativity, like, holy crap, like this, this little blue guy that I've been playing, on my console has all sorts of opportunities to be more than what I've been shown. And so I started doing artwork, and then I got the internet, and I started putting my art on DeviantArt, and started to kind of get to know a few people who were other Sonic fans on DeviantArt. Up until this point, living in Western Australia, I didn't even know there were other Sonic fans like me. I thought maybe he was this niche character that only a few people had heard about, and that got me going even more. Like oh, there's other people like me. There's people that I can talk to about Sonic, and long story short, met my wife through DeviantArt as well, because she was doing Sonic fan art, and after a bit of a break and coming back to it, a few years later, people are still doing it. People hadn't stopped doing Sonic fan art. People hadn't stopped talking about the the old stuff and the new stuff. And I guess to me, it's really about finding new people just like me, who like the same stuff as me, and who draw the same stuff as me, or maybe variations of the stuff that I like, and learning from them, and kind of realizing hey, these people are far better than me, and that's a great thing. There are people who have like the same thing as me, and they've taken it to the next level. You know, people are out there right now doing continuations of the old comics, continuations of the old cartoons, and you know, doing their own versions of the games, that kind of stuff. And that just every day, you know, I wake up and I'm like, well, you know, what's new in the Sonic community today? And there's always something new, always something, you know, fascinating, and people are always talking. And it's just, yeah, to me, while the games are important to me, anything official is important to me. I think the thing that, you know, is the biggest thing in my life in regards to Sonic is just what everybody out there is doing, and seeing how it affects them on a day to day.
Yeah.
Wow, you should be running this show, not me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You don't want that.
I mean, I don't really have much else to add on to that. That's fantastic, and that's very similar to how I feel. That's very similar to how I feel too about it. Actually, it is more than anything. I think what makes Sonic interesting is just all the different ways that he has and can be interpreted, and his world and everything. It's really cool to have that sort of just being able to be versatile, so versatile like that. That's kind of rare, and it's rare for these different incarnations to be so beloved. Like, on people who love like the original classic games, people who love Sonic Boom. I mean, it's and everything in between. It's a big franchise that has something that I think everybody can enjoy, or even multiple things. Everyone can enjoy.
Yeah, it's always bothered me a little bit when, you know, thankfully they're a minority, but you do get a few people that come in and say Sonic should be this or should be that.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, the best thing about Sonic is that he's a much wider franchise than he is tall. There is so much to him, and there's something for everyone, and everyone can have their particular version of Sonic, and that is wonderful. You know, they can focus on that. Or if you're like me, you like all of it. Like you can give me any aspect of Sonic, and I'll eat it up. I think it's great.
For sure. I mean, I take a very kind of laid back approach to it. I'm just like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm down. I'm into it. It's one reason why I love Sonic Boom. It was just something. It was a different approach to these characters, and kind of twisting them, turning the whole thing on its head, and making it more of a comedic story was just, I don't know, that really appealed to me. It was just a lot of fun.
How about you, Ian?
You guys have kind of covered everything, and I'm just kind of adding to the pile here. It's something I've always been impressed with is the tenacity and the creativity in the fandom.
Yeah.
Like you said, people creating their own games. Comics is one thing. I mean, comics are not easy to make. Don't misunderstand me, but I would say a game is much harder to put together, even with all the tools that we have at our disposal now. It's, you know, when I see someone who puts together a, you know, Generations style game, or when they were converting older maps into the Generations engine, or doing their own fan games, or it's just like, it's just amazing what they can do. And it's sometimes a little frustrating. It's like, look at what these people are doing on zero budget and free time, Sega.
Yeah.
Where's my Knuckles Metroidvania? Because somebody just did it for you. Give them a few bucks. Give them, you know, some of the revenue from it. Just, they did the legwork. Just gimme.
Right.
Let me consume.
Yeah, the one example I always think of now is, these days especially, is Sonic Roboblast 2. The fact that they took Doom and converted it into a Sonic game, and it's a very good and very fun Sonic game, is absolutely amazing. Just how versatile that engine is and what they've done with it.
And people can add their fan characters, or they can adapt comic characters, or whatever. It's just, and it's never a matter of should we, or is there an interest in this, or do I even want it? It happens so organically, and you can't contain it. And, for my griping, the fact that Sega doesn't shut it down, that they're just kind of letting the fandom go nuts with their stuff is really nice too. To allow the people who enjoy the product to embrace it so fully, so chaotically.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even Sonic Roboblast 2 now has its own spin-off with a kart racing spin-off.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what? This is crazy. It's just getting more and more crazy. And that's one of the things that's really cool about just the fan community and the stuff that the fans make is, I don't know, there's just a lot of love for the franchise, clearly, and there's just so much talent and people who just know what they're doing and within the franchise doing amazing things that they're going on and, making official things like Sonic Mania and things like that. So
yeah, I think Sonic Mania and the IDW crew especially, since I think almost everybody who works on this comic must have been like fans at some point. Yeah, it's like all the yeah, it's like I think a lot of these people come in not necessarily wanting to do something official. I'm sure it is an end goal at some point, but they're just doing something that they love, and that's where the best projects come from.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody who works on any of the multiple comic continuations or the people doing animations and stuff like that. Which, just a side note, I was gone from the franchise for probably about close to a decade at one point. Like life just got really busy. Ironically, getting into the game industry meant that I didn't have enough time to really kind of like delve into a lot of my old hobbies, and Sonic just happened to be one of those ones where it's just like I'd been a fan since the beginning. It was the mid 2000s, and my life just got really busy, so I kind of stepped aside for a bit. And when I was originally a fan, there was a lot of projects. People were doing like these, their personal games and stuff like that. But it was mostly, fan art and fan writing. And when I came back, actually not too long before the Sonic, the first live action film, I was like, logging on for the first time in a long time, checking into the community to see what people are doing. And there's people are doing stuff now that I would not have even imagined back then. Like they're getting entire teams together to do like hand-drawn animations or Flash, other digital animations, and making even bigger games. Some of the best 3D renders of Sonic I've seen are from fans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good to see those people doing that, because I think anytime you do something for yourself or for your community, that's where the best work is going to come out, because that's where the passion is. You're doing it because you want to do it, not because you want a paycheck or want to be famous. But it is a great thing that Sega at least has recognized that and allows these projects to keep going, and like you mentioned already, gives them opportunities to do something official. I think that's amazing.
Confession time. When I forget which one it was, which title, but when the fan group got together with the intention of continuing the post-reboot storyline, I was sorely tempted to contact him and go, so you want me to just write the thing under a ghost name, get it as close to authentic as possible, because I still got the notes and everything. It's like, no, if that came out, then there would be problems. But it was tempting, because I kind of miss that Wild West flavor of the fan community. Because when I got in, this was like when the internet was first becoming kind of a big place for people to gather.
Yeah,
it was really starting to explode into that accessible nature. A few 5 years before, we probably wouldn't have had the resources to get organized as we did back then. It was a very different landscape, and it was kind of this fan renaissance when you had folks like John Gray and Don Best and Jeff Axer first hitting the scene, and you would have the more accessible message boards, not just your Telnet clients, your old B-Scene chat rooms, if you remember that, for pity's sake, trading ICQ numbers and whatnot. And you're really getting together. And I remember, as kids, creating our own fan freedom fighter groups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
And, the amount of the sheer volume of artwork that people were churning out for each other just because it was fun or throwing fanfic out there just to fill out ideas or explore possibilities. And we weren't doing it to get recognized or reviewed. It was just fun to share all this creative stuff. I feel real old now.
Yep, me too.
And kind of along that line, thank you for saying that you're remembering Gallon and Mulhenny and such, because I've had a lot of fans and professional workers who say, "Oh yeah, I grew up loving Sonic. Your issue, when you started writing in this era," and I'm like, "Oh God." You were 14 when I started working, and now you're all grown up. The inexorable march of time.
Yeah, I actually have a letter printed in, I think it's 109 of Archie Sonic, and my letter's in there, and underneath it says age 15 or whatever, and I look at that occasionally, and I let out a big sigh.
It was I remember also being in the Sonic fan community in like 2000, 2001, 2002. I was a kid, still in just barely in high school at that time. Or actually, no, I might have even been like 8th grade, might have been just on the cusp. But I actually have to give credit to the Sonic fan community because they're the ones that introduced me to the video game music remix community.
Oh God, yeah.
So I was like someone linked to Overclocked Remix on one of those old one of the old Sonic forums, and there was video game music remixes. There were Sonic remixes. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, the best music out there is either official Sonic music or Sonic remixes. They're just so good.
Yeah, this is incredible. And that's where I'm like, yes, okay, I'm in on this and this. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, man. While we're reminiscing, do you remember after the drought in the late 90s and when the first screenshots of Sonic Adventure leaked?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody was flipping out because there's no way that someone could just make these, right? I mean, there's some good fan art, but these look like full renders. Is this fake or is it not? Wait, Sega's taking them down. Does that mean it's real? And then, the reimagining of Sonic happens and everyone's going, what is with this art style?
Yeah.
What is with Big the Cat? Wait, you can play as one of the robots? How is that even going to work? And little did we know at the time that Gamma was going to be excellent and Big was going to be the best character in the franchise. So,
yeah, I think there's always this kind of like knee-jerk reaction to change. Not everybody has that. There's a lot of people that are just like, oh, cool, something new. Give it to me, give me. But you do have people who, myself included, that are like, have like, a part of Sonic that has always been what they identify with Sonic, and change can be a little bit harder. Ironically, the older I've gotten, the better I am with that. Because as far as I'm concerned, Sonic's always changing. There's always something more fun, and I'm at a point now where it's just like, just give me this stuff. Just inject Sonic into my veins, and I'll be happy in whatever form he is. But I remember when the very first images came out, and I was like, Sonic with long legs, not in my lifetime. And nowadays it's just like, whatever. I don't care if he's blue, he's got spikes, he's fun. That's all I care about.
If he's got blue arms, sure, why not?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
I do remember also, I never saw the leaked screenshots, I don't think. That was probably a little bit before my time for Sonic stuff, but I remember picking up the first issue of the official Dreamcast magazine, I think. I forget which one it was. I forget which one what it was exactly called. I think that's the one it was. And being kind of blown away seeing screenshots of 3D Sonic and just being like, okay, things are different now.
I actually made a friend of mine late for a job interview because of Sonic Adventure. He was heading to a job interview, and I was going with him for moral support. And along the way to the train station, we stopped by, we passed through the mall, and they had a stand playing Sonic Adventure, like a demo of it that you could play. I'm like, oh, just give me 5 seconds. I want to check this out. And so he's like, all right, fine. We walk over to the terminal, and he's tapping his foot. An hour later, he's like, look, I really need to get to this job interview. And we ended up being late. And he was mad at me for a while, but it was worth it because I got to play Sonic Adventure demo. So
And if you got the same demo as we did, it wasn't really so much a demo as it was the full game that they put in a kiosk, because I kind of played Knuckles' campaign to completion.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, it might have been. I never got to tell if it was the full game because we had to go to this job interview. How disappointing.
Now, Dobbs, you said that you've worked in the game industry.
I do.
As someone who has gotten into the guts of game making, what kind of Sonic game would you like to see? Not necessarily in terms of mainline, although your preferences would be interesting. Like, what would you like to see this franchise produce? Because as you said, it's extremely malleable. You can do a lot of things with the Little Blue Hedgehog. So what kind of Sonic game would you like to see?
So I have, I like the contemporary 3D games, and I also like the retro kind of like pixel games. If it was to be a modern game like all 3D, I would like a little bit I don't want to say grit to it. I would like a story with stakes in it. I think IDW and even especially late Archie had some fantastic stories where there were stakes and where there was like whatever happened to the characters mattered long term, and maybe some kind of like overarching story that carried across from game to game, and really kind of just like. To me, to be fair, I'm somebody who likes story in his games. I play Mass Effect. I play, the BioShock franchise, that kind of stuff. So I like deep narrative, and I know that's not for everybody. I know that's perfectly fine. I know a lot of people just want to be able to, play Sonic, run from start to end, and be and that's fine. And I'm not saying that the story needs to be doom and gloom, but I'd like to see something that has a little bit of weight to it. I honestly feel like there were touches of 2006 that were kind of like hinting in the right direction. I think the game personally missed the mark, but there was aspects to it that could work in a modern Sonic game, I think. So really, long story short, I'd like a game with a little bit of narrative weight to it, personal stakes. But really, that's mostly it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I would like to see a more weighty storyline in a Sonic game with some actual continuity, and maybe answering some of the questions that have been long-standing amongst the fans who've been like, why are things like this? Why does it work this way? I mean, we can have fan theories all day, but
yeah, I like a certain amount of mystery.
Sure.
Sometimes when things are over-explained, you lose a lot of the chase is more important than the reveal to me.
Right.
But as pointed out, I think continuity would be really cool. I'd like to be able to. I kind of miss that from the old games, like Sonic 1, 2, 3. Even as minimal as it might have been, it did feel like a progression.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Sonic Mania kind of picked it up in a really fun way and really kind of like turned it around. Even the remixed missions understood the history of Sonic, I feel like they understood what those games were about and really kind of like put a fun spin on them. And I'd like to see that transferred a little bit to the 3D games, if that makes sense.
Sure. I also like the idea of things being more character-based. Like seeing the characters actually progress instead of just being reset to a status quo every time.
Yeah, Sonic's got a wonderful cast of characters, and like I said before, I think IDW does a really good job of kind of like the Zeddy. I think they're really well written in the comics. I love them. Yeah, thank you for writing them, Ian. You've done a really good job with them. Whereas in the games, like, it hurts a lot.
They're just very generic. They're just very there.
Yeah.
It's the comics that really takes his characters and just fleshes them out and gives them so much more depth and something more interesting to latch onto than just what's presented to us from the games.
Right. And having worked in games, like, I'm not a designer, I've worked directly with them, but I understand that is a very complex role. So I would definitely not be the sort of person to go out there and say, this is what Sonic should be, or this is the kind of gameplay that I would want. But as far as characters goes, like, I've grown up with Sonic, 30 years now. I've followed him along in all these different adventures, and I would like to be able to have something like that's why I'm actually excited about the live action films, because there's continuity there. I want to find out what they're doing now. What are these? What's the hijinks that's going to happen from these characters? Whereas the games, it's like there's that disconnect that I feel like, if you stitch these stories together, you could have something really cool. Also, that means you don't have to force an entire game into an entire story into a single game. Like, you could break it up a little bit. You could focus on the characters, and honestly, I'd like to see, Shadow in there doing more stuff. Just, there's a lot of potential.
Yeah, definitely. Ian, you got anything you want to add?
I was just thinking I want to see a proper Sonic R2.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Sonic R is the best!
Yes.
Love Sonic R.
Sonic R2, yes. We need more Sonic racing game that
Sonic has feet. He should be using them when he races. Just use his damn feet. He runs.
It's something that All-Star Racing transformed again. I'm down for a sequel to that, because
bringing that soundtrack too. I feel like there's something about I like modern Sonic music, but there's something wonderful about and nostalgic about some of the late 90s, early 2000s, but especially late 90s kind of like Sonic music that kind of like it was like a link between the original, soundtracks and like the later stuff, which was more, rock type stuff.
Sure, yeah.
Bring some of that forward would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I would love another more Sonic racing games, please. That would be,
yes, Sonic Flintstones car, yes.
I'm just saying, imagine a series of cups and tracks based off of the modern era, and a Station Square track where you start downtown, go through Emerald Coast, loop back through the city, go through Speed Highway, come back into Station Square, run along the train track, and loop.
Ian, why aren't you writing these games?
A Mystic Ruins one, where, again, train track, through the jungle, loop past Ice Cap, scream past Angel Island, loop. Something that takes place on the egg carrier. You go above deck, below deck, around deck, across the ocean and back. That's a cup right there, just free of charge. Okay, you need 4 tracks. Fine, the Perfect Chaos fight. Just and you know what? I know there were problems with Sonic R. There absolutely were. But tone back the platforming aspect and make the characters control like cars. Now, I am not a game developer. I could be very, very wrong in how easy that would be implemented, but I'm just thinking if it's mostly down to the animations, as long as they're not having to actually platform jump, if you're just racing, and instead of a car veering back and forth and fishtailing, you show the character, crouching as they did in Sonic Unleashed, hand down to snake around a turn,
drifting.
It could work.
I mean,
maybe?
I haven't played the Olympic Games, but I'm surely they must run in that game. It's like
something like that.
Yeah, not quite to the same blistering pace I'm thinking, but
sure.
I mean, the 3D boost mechanic is basically a car racing game anyway, as it is. So
that's what I'm thinking.
You can kind of adapt that. I don't know why they haven't. It just seems like a big old missed opportunity there.
We've sung your praises for like a half hour. Make this happen. Let my dream come true, because I am inept. I can't do it.
I share this dream.
No. Dreams Come True was from Sonic 2, not Sonic R. Different.
Oh, for pity's sake,
song. Different song.
Also, Sonic 2006.
Oh yeah, it was in that game, wasn't it?
It was like a remix.
Wait a minute, did we talk about Sonic 06? I'm not sure.
I mentioned it, yeah.
I know you did. I know you did. You mentioned the Forbidden game.
I did.
The Forbidden one.
That's because I dare.
That's fine.
You've been in the fandom a long time when Sonic 06 has become the misunderstood genius, and really it was Sonic Boom that was the absolute worst game. Well, I think my benchmark for retirement from this franchise is going to be when Sonic Boom reaches that same level of no, it was just a misunderstood gem in the rough. Now this is the bad one. It's like, no.
I don't know if Rise of Lyric is ever going to get to that point, because Rise of Lyric has a very dubious distinction of being not only bad and terribly broken, but also extremely boring.
How do you? I think you've been asked this before, but how do you feel about Sonic 3D Blast?
I love it personally.
I didn't have a ton of fun with it myself, but the fact that the lead designer, shoot, what is the gentleman's name? The fact that he went back in and kind of did the director's cut and retooled it a bit and added in Supersonic and all that, I think is just freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love it if if they receive ever a Sonic Gems collection type deal again, and they included that to just bring that version over wholesale,
John Burton of Traveler's Tales, yeah. He's the one who did that, yep. The Sonic 3D Director's Cut, which is absolutely fantastic. An excellent, basically, ROM hack. So semi-official in a way, but also unofficial. It's kind of weird like that. It's not officially made by Sega, but the original programmer worked on it and made it. So, but
that Wild West.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like the fact that he also took feedback from the community on features to add and things like that too. So It was not just him on his own coming up with this. It was all ideas crowdsourced from the community of people who've had complaints of the previous version of the game, and he went back and fixed them and made it actually a really really fun Sonic game. That's different. It's very different from the rest of the franchise, and I think that's also another thing that I really like about it. Also, a freaking kickin' soundtrack, but
oh god, yes,
that's
one of the best.
Thing. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why some of the tracks got reused for Sonic Adventure 1 because they're fantastic. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. Do we have anything else we want to talk about Sonic-wise?
That probably covers it.
All right.
I mean, we love Sonic. I mean,
I guess before we sign off, if there was, I guess, one thing about Sonic that you have carried, this is to both of you, that you've carried from the first time you played Sonic to now, something that that you find has value to you, and maybe you've learned from it personally, or this is aside from your writing career, Ian, obviously, but something personally, Ian, the human being who likes Sonic, and Kyle, the other human being who likes Sonic. What is it? Something that you've carried across all these years?
Well, I'm never going to forget the experience of playing the games with my younger brother, whether it was Sonic 2, where I'm running around as Sonic and he's Tails, and we're like attacking badniks as if this is some kind of tactical platformer, taking it super serious because Tails is invulnerable and he can go ahead and he can take the hit and it's all for the cause. We have to win. Or that moment in SA2 when Sonic, he's going to go super, he's going to save the day, and he looks to Shadow and we're like, what? And they're standing side by side and the fists are shaking, the emeralds are flying, and we're going, what? And then they both turn super and we're just absolutely losing it, going, oh my god, there's a super Shadow. Just those family moments will forever stay with me.
That's fantastic.
I know that I would, it's, for me, I mean, I hate to be that guy who always goes back to it, but the music is always something that I will keep close to me for probably my entire life.
It's legit.
It will not go away. The original games, the new games, whatever. I love it all, and it's been a big influence on me personally. It's just that, musically, and I will probably never forget the themes from Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Knuckles for sure, because it's they're just ingrained in my brain and they will never leave. And I played them so much, and I would sit on the sound test in those games and just sit there and listen to the music while I was cleaning my room and stuff like that as a kid. And it was just those kinds of things were things that I really, really enjoyed about Sonic.
Yeah, I feel you there, especially with the music. It's good stuff. I guess I'm kind of like Ian in that for me it's a big family thing. I grew up on Sonic. I've got two brothers. One is a year younger than me, and one is I think 10 years younger. And the youngest one is he's autistic, and he doesn't have much of a social life. He's pretty much homebound. He's restricted with what he can do. And so for him, video games have always been this release. It's this opportunity to explore worlds, be more than he feels he is. He's a wonderful person, but he often feels down about himself because of his limitations. And games lift that. They take those limitations away and allow him to be anything he wants. And so we bonded very quickly over Sonic. He collected the comics with me. He watched Saturday AM. I think he's collecting IDW now, and we collected a lot of Archie together. He likes Sally Acorn. He likes all those characters. And really kind of just gave us a connection. And I'm now in the US. He's still in Australia. And it gives us an opportunity to continue to be excited about something. Like, he'll ping me news about the movie and stuff like that. And I've already seen it, obviously. I'm a bigger Sonic nerd than he is. But I'll ping him back and be like, wow, that's amazing. Tell me more. And Sonic gives us, both something to be excited about, and it gives him something to look forward to every day. So I am very thankful for that.
That is awesome.
That is very cool. Yeah. I mean, I always have the memories of like trying to hurry home to watch Adventures of Sonic and the afternoons, or waking up super, super, super early on Saturdays to watch Saturday AM. And
yeah,
those were good times. I always loved that. Or like playing Sonic at school on the playground. Things that you did in like first, second, third grade is what I did. And those are things that I have always liked, for sure. That's good
Absolutely.
Memories and good times.
Yeah, here's to Sonic.
Yep, for sure.
Thank you, Sonic. Heaven knows where we would be without you.
I would be in a ditch, probably.
No! Throw the man a ring, quickly. Well, as we wrap up, Dobbs, you are an artist. Tell people where they can find your work, and if you're taking commissions or any of that jazz. Sell yourself. Here's your plug moment. Go for it.
Oh, I hate talking about myself, but if you insist.
I do.
Do it.
You can find me predominantly I spend more time than I should do on Twitter. At ink_pants. That's ink as in the stuff that people put on their body, and pants as in the things that people used to wear before 2020. You can find my art at a website that I will find for you, johndobbsart.com. So that's just my name, Jon. There's no H in it. Please don't put a H in it. JONDOBBSART.com, and that's pretty much it. If you find me on Twitter, you can ask me questions. I am currently taking commissions. There should be a link there for prices and stuff like that. But if you just want to come out and follow, say hello, that's more than enough for me. I like sharing my experiences with Sonic fans. I like hearing about your experiences, and really we're all in this together. Sonic is something that we can all bond, together about, and that's more than I need.
Very cool. Well, thank you again for joining us, for helping to support the show. And everyone else, we will see you next Monday for another edition of the BumbleKast. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we'll see you later.
Yes, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you Dobbs for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This is it's my time.
Yes, this is the BumbleKast.
Oh God, listening to the deflated sighs and groans that are coming from the Bumble chat right now.
Yeah, it's true, because they heard me. Where's the Pantscast? You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I never had PB&J in Australia. It just wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
No. What is the stereotype? Vegemite, is it?
Yeah.
Probably for some. For me, it was just Nutella.
Okay.
Marmite.
It's the British version.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just like peanut butter.
It's good.
It is. Luckily, I'm not allergic to it. I'm thankful for that. Yeah. I also like turtles. It's true. Dove has it right. I like turtles.